Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Now, Liboris, just listening to the NNPC spokesperson, Mr. Ahumadu, what do you make of his submissions?
Laughable, though. For me, a spokesperson should, it's not, being a spokesperson of an organization is not to try and deny the obvious. It is to try and manage the truth, no matter how impossible it seems. And so, being invasive, I saw him being invasive. Oh, that's, you should refer to the agency. And then you speak for the entire body. And now you don't know, it means you don't even have information on what you're discussing about. And then also this idea of shifting blame. Oh, the problem is between that man and Ip Man. No. Because like the question Neota asked, the moment you cap the price, you say it's a deregulated economy and yet you cap the price. What it means is if the other man, the that man people are not able to assess forest the way government would assess forest. So they'll sit down and wait for NNPC to import. NNPC would supply that man will in turn supply, MoMA and Ip Man. So what that means, you have, chains of middlemen now. And so any adjustment in price or any shortfall in supply will in turn affect, the supply. So Ip Man, that man is saying, look, we don't have enough to give Ip Man. And Ip Man is also complaining that out of 150, you reduce to 20. And what the effect would be on the end user. And that's why you see people now saying, look, definitely some people are going to buy panically that we don't know how long this is going to last. Because in Nigeria, it is easy for government to tell you, we have 30 days supply, go about your normal duties, only for you to see that it is persistent. So I think government should address this problem. It will bring us back to the issue of deregulation, because we still have not addressed that issue of deregulation and first subsidy. One of the reasons why the cap went up to 145, between 135 and 145, according to the Minister of State for Petroleum, was because that at that point in 2015, at that point in 2015, the pump price that Nigerians were forced to pay for was between 150 naira and 250 naira, and just to be able to bring about the balance and the product begins to come out was to put a cap of 145, which was close enough. And he thought that if we have that, it will bring about more competition. But that competition doesn't seem to have happened. Do you think that the pump price... Mind you, this was the same government.
Do you think that pump prices are likely to go up?
Yes, I do. Because you're not in control of the price of the commodity at the international market. It's dependent on the fluctuation of your currency at the international market. And so if you are not in control of that, if the price goes up internationally, the price of production, from where you're sourcing your product from, it's definitely going to affect the price of consumption here. And so that's why the intention initially was, let's make do with this. By the time we start producing locally, the price will come down. And so a lot of people were happy that, yes, for the first time, let government do something. And people were expectant. And yet, day in, day out, government keep telling you, once Dangote refinery, comes on board, the price will go down. Why is government also not looking at how they can make do with local manufacturing to ensure that even the products that are locally consumed are manufactured, at least 50% of the local consumption, it's refined here. And so if you refine locally, definitely the dollar price won't affect, the fluctuating price that we're seeing here. And that's why Ip Man cannot, it's an impossibility for a private marketer or a private business person to go into importation of petroleum products. That's why it's only an NNPC that is doing it.
Liboris Oshoma, I want to thank you so much indeed.